Hey, what is up guys? Welcome to my channel and for another Outriders video. Today's build is really special in the sense that I've always wanted to have a really strong and viable shotgun build for Technomancer, but it was really just not possible before. But now with the new pack trees and all the crazy new weapons and gear, now Shotgun Techno is an actual beast. This build is absolutely ridiculous and just shows how powerful shotguns can be. Technos are the best class to make full use of the shotguns, unlike the Trickster or the Devastator. But it's still so damn good. This is not a firepower build as well. This is a full-on anomaly focused build. We are also using some of the new skills in our pack tree that will give us some insanely fast cooldowns on our skills, which will basically allow us to always have enemies be frozen from the cold snap, as well as using the fixing wave, which will give us some great healing and some pretty sick bonuses thanks to some of the new T3 mods that we received from Worldslayer and the new armor sets. I'm not sure about the other classes as much, but being able to spam cold snap so often, it's pretty sick. The Worldslayer update also came with a new shotgun that has one of the best mods in the game. So let's get straight into the build. Firstly, let's just go over the skills. We are using Fixing Wave, Blighted Rounds, and probably my new favorite, the Cold Snap. Since we are mostly using our gadget skills, we'll be going down the center tree. We go all the way down to get overclocked, which will give us bonus 40% weapon damage, as well as anomaly power for 10 seconds. We will be having that bonus all the time since our skills will be at a really short cooldown. We also get Exposing Toxin since we are using Blighted Rounds. We will always inflict the enemies with vulnerable with that as well. With the remaining points we had, we go down the bottom tree to get some bonus anomaly power as well as resistance piercing. Then in our pack tree, this is where we get something different this time, and it works really good with the build as well. We go down the bottom overseer tree and we have this cool new skill, which is the Hastened Influence. This skill is super sick. It will reduce the cooldown of one of your skills by 0.5 seconds for every status removed by you or applied to an enemy by you. This is where Techno is able to get super fast cooldowns. His Cold Snap basically inflicts freeze in a very large radius. And we have gotten our skill in the main tree, which is Exposing Frost, where you inflict vulnerable whenever you inflict freeze as well. This basically allows you to apply 2 status effects to every enemy hit by the Cold Snap, which in return will reduce your cooldowns of your skills. This will basically allow you to spam the Cold Snap almost all the time. Your Blighted Rounds also inflict toxic and vulnerable with each shot, making your cooldowns even faster. We also use the skill Burrowing Charge. Critical shots inject the enemies with an explosive charge for 5 seconds. This charge will deal 250% of your anomaly power damage on the next critical shot you make on the enemy. This skill also has a 5-second cooldown. This is how you're able to see the Techno nearly instant killing the elites. As you hit them with 2 critical hits, you will deal massive damage. If it wasn't for the cooldown, it really would have been able to melt bosses like crazy as well. Just because of the cooldown on the skill, it just makes it a little bit longer to kill the bigger bosses. It is ridiculously strong for this build, and if you're running an anomaly setup, it works absolutely amazing. Especially for this build, since we are using the Flame Leaper set, which inflicts Lightfire, we can get some crazy damage from our status power, as well as the huge critical hit shots that we get from our Burrowing Charge skill. The armor set that we run, we use the Flame Leaper headpiece, the chest piece, and the pants. This set will give us bonus Lightfire status whenever we inflict toxic on enemies 3 times. We will achieve this mostly through our Blighted Rounds. Of course, everyone may not be able to get their hands on the exact items with the proper third mods, so try and get it as close as you can to what I'm about to show you. On the headpiece, we keep the Alchemical Mastery to give us bonus anomaly power while our Blighted Rounds are active. We swap out the second mod for Captain Hunter, for good old extra damage to elites. Then for the third mod, I got Danger Close. This actually works really good for this build. Since we use shotguns, we will always be in close range to the enemies, like at all the times. So this mod just works really great with this. On your chest piece, I had already used it in an earlier build, and I had swapped out the first mod slot, which is the Party Starter. For this build, it's actually better if you keep the first mod and swap out the second mod for Shatter. The Spare Bang is actually no use on this build I'm running. The only reason I went with the chest piece I'm using is because of the Icicle Storm. This will deal a very large AoE attack whenever you kill enemies affected by the Cold Snap. Since we spam Cold Snap almost all the time, this is the most important skill for this build. For the pants, we keep the Virulent Compound for even more damage to elites, and we swap out the second mod for Euthanizer for more damage affected by Toxic. We tend to lose this bonus once enemies are inflicted with Blightfire, but the devs are looking to fix this issue. So the toxic bonuses will work even when the enemies are inflicted with Blightfire. For the third mod, I got Freezing Boost for even more damage to frozen enemies. For the gloves, I kept it to the ones I've been using for a while now, which gives me a big boost in anomaly power for every elite that's on the field. Also, I gain even more anomaly power on critical shots. It's still by far my best piece of gear for anomaly builds. Then I have my boots, where I have all my important mods for my fixing wave. This is actually on the torrential downpour shoes, where we get the quartermaster mod. This mod will refill our full magazine on the weapon we are using whenever we activate the skill. The license to heal mod is also crucial for this build, since we are using shotguns. This will give us bonus weapon damage as well as 4 seconds of infinite ammo. With this we can just hold down our fire button and we will never run out of ammo. Also, since we will have such fast cooldowns, we will be able to spam fixing wave almost all the time, so that in return we will almost always have infinite ammo to our side as well. This is the best way to keep your blighter rounds active if you're planning to use shotguns. Shotguns have a very low ammo capacity, so this is the best way to have your ammo all the time. And then for my third mod, I even got bad medicine. This will inflict toxic to surrounding enemies if we are overhealed from our fixing wave. This is also another great way to have your cooldowns back, since we'll be inflicting toxic in a nice 10-meter radius. Now let's look at the main weapons that you will want to use. I personally use the Funeral Pry as it's a good fire rate and a clip size. Also the mod Shadow Comet can proc on multiple enemies when you shoot. If your shot hits multiple enemies, then you will call down multiple comets. Also with the Ultimate Storm Whip as my third mod, we can also call down multiple lightning attacks as well, if your shot hits more than one enemy. And for the best mod to take out mobs and bosses easily, we add in the Mage's Rage. Otherwise, the one really powerful mod you can use is the Nicola's Revenge. This mod is totally ridiculous as it works just like the Shadow Comet and the Storm Whip, which means it will proc multiple times if your shot hits more than one enemy. Also, what's even better is the fact that this mod does not have a cooldown whatsoever, making it one or if not the best mod in the game. Better use it before the devs find out. You can find this mod on the Thunderclap shotgun. That is it for all the weapons and armor we use for most of this build. Of course, you may have better gear than me or may not. So try and get it as close to this as you can and you'll be all good to go. I'll be showing all the items I used on the screen right now, for better and easier view if you wanted just to see what gear was used for the build. I really love the shotgun techno style. I really wasn't expecting it to be as strong as it is. I tried quite a few gear sets as well, the Borealis and the Plague Cell, to see if a firepower shotgun build is viable or better than this. But a firepower build really doesn't stack up. If you have a firepower shotgun build for Techno, I would really love to see it. But at the moment, I really don't need an FP build, when my anomaly is just this much more powerful. There is no real combo to play with this build. Just activate your blighter rounds in this cycle between the fixing wave and your cold snap. With the really fast cooldowns, you will almost always have those skills available to use. There's a bug in the game that sometimes will not get those cooldown bonuses from your hastened influence skill if you happen to die. So if you find that it's not working, just respec in your pack tree and assign those skill points again, and you'll be all good to go. Hope you guys enjoyed the build. I've always wanted a shotgun build for Techno, and I finally am able to play like the close range attacker that I wanted. What do you guys think of the build? Do you guys like to use shotguns, and especially on Techno? Let me know. I would love to hear from you all. I will catch you all next time.